Hello, Jimmy. What time is it?
Can't remember. Depends what you're looking at. So on the computer it's 6:30. So it must be 5:30.
5:30?
But the sun comes up here about bloody 5 o'clock or less earlier.
Yeah, it's 5:38 according to the phone. So what time did we wake up at?
3:30.
What time did I always wake up too? And then couldn't go back to sleep. Why are we so excited? Why can't we sleep?
Come here, show you. Because we get the opportunity to see whether the fucking new van's waterproof because it's fucking raining. So we're going to pick the new van up in a couple of hours. And then we just pick it up from Zone RV and then we go into a farm stay place to do the actual handover. So they give you 2 days to go through the van and explain all the electrical system and plumbing system and all that sort of stuff. So it'd be better if it wasn't raining, but you know.
Who knows? Maybe it'll stop.
It'll probably stop.
Fingers crossed.
So yeah, but it is the wet season up here though, so you can expect a bit of rain. See if the stuff's still on the roof of the car. Yep. Still on the roof of the car.
Yep, still on the roof of the car.
So we're waiting.
Actually, did I lock the car?
We're waiting for the restaurant though because I'm starving.
You're starving.
All I had for dinner last night was a salad. So.
Poor Jimmy. Maybe that's why you didn't sleep.
I woke up with hunger pains. What do you think about the weather, mate?
Don't like it. It's pissing with rain, and you know rain makes my hair curly, and I don't like that.
At least we'll be able to see if the van's waterproof.
Yeah, but we've got to get all the stuff from the car into the van.
The roundabout. Take the second exit onto Quinda Road.
I'm going to get soaked.
Yeah, possibly.
Unless they got undercover area.
No. But we can leave it up on the roof of the car until we get to the other place.
Yeah, I suppose.
But it's not looking good.
No!
It's like being in Melbourne, dude. Like sunny one day, raining the next.
What was it? Somebody said to me, oh, I really want to go up there when the rainy season is on.
I don't make my hair curly.
Fucking rainy season, you could stick that up your ass.
Oh, I reckon we park up there.
We have arrived at Zone and we are ready to pick up our caravan when this truck gets out of the way. We're in the Zone showroom and we're having a cup of tea.
Most expensive biscuit you've ever had.
Yep. Waiting for our handover, which should happen shortly. Very exciting.
Can take a picture of it outside, guys.
What's that?
Go look at the van outside.
With the GoPro? I can go in it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You paid for it, do you? You look where you want.
So we're in the pickup zone. Getting ready to hook up. This is Phil helping Jimmy get the car right in the right spot. And this is our caravan. How exciting! Our new tow ball.
I dread it. I hate when it's plugged in. There'll be a little bit in it, yeah.
So it looks like there's some prezzies in here for us.
I don't think you'll need it.
No. Just wanted enough to test it. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's enough. Do you want to leave that? Oh, wait.
So, pickup zone, hookup zone. Aha. Nice and easy. Did you want to make sure that your back thingy can open while the van's on? Yeah? That was something you were concerned about, wasn't it? Looks like it'll just zip past.
Yeah, it is a bit, but it's got to come around a fair way. Yeah, the tyres were worse than the. Yeah, you can't make it before. Yeah, I'm fine. You get to run on it.
Score 10, what have we got? 10, 20 to 10.
10:54 arrival is what we're expected, and the time is, well, it should be 8:41, shouldn't it?
No, it's not.
9:41?
I'll fix that
Oh, you
now.
adjusted it? Okay. So we've just left the zone where we picked up our zone.
We have some factory.
So initially we were a little disappointed. And why were we disappointed?
Well, they put chrome door handles on where they were meant to put black door handles.
So I've taken a photo to show you what it should have looked like.
Yeah, and so we've spoken to the sales people and they're organising to change them out on the first service. So we'll do that.
The other thing we were disappointed with was that we didn't get the induction with gas cooktop that we asked for. We only got the gas, but they gave us an extra induction plate, but the value doesn't match up with what we're losing. And they put the gas plate on the bench sideways instead of straight up and down. So I'm not sure, but I think it takes up a little bit more space. So I'm just a little bit disappointed about that, but we'll see how it works. So we're on our way to Hangar O.
Yeah, other than that, pretty good. So.
Yeah. But other than that, looks good. The microwave looks good. Inside is beautiful. We won't tell them about the little cushion that we got to make up another bed.
No, because then you'll have bloody freeloaders. Grandma.
I think Seth is too tall for it now. Anyway,
He can sleep cool up.
and but Lincoln will want to get in there.
Seth's big enough for a swag.
Millie won't, because she hates me.
She likes me though.
But she's got to be able to not be afraid of both of us if she wants to come in the van. Yeah, so that's the weather up ahead. Luckily, apparently it's undercover where we get to go through the van.
Yeah, the handover thing.
So the handover, so that's good. So we'll be able to get the stuff off the...
We've got to drive to a place called Hangar O, which is about 100 k's from Coolum Beach, just up past Gympie.
Yeah.
And then we're staying there for 2 days, so they give us a couple of hours rundown on how everything works, but then they're on hand there for a couple of days if we sort of get stuck on how something works or doesn't work. So that's good. That should be a good experience. And then that's like an off-grid camp setup, so you get a chance to make sure all the water pumps work, batteries work, solar panels work, the inverter works, all that sort of thing. So yeah, it'll be good. We'll test it while we're there. And then when we're finished there, we'll go to a caravan park for a day just to make sure all the plug-in, like all the 240 stuff works. If you've got to plug in, make sure it all works. At least shitty weather, we'll be able to test the diesel heater. Not that it's cold, but I'd rather be testing the diesel heater at 24 degrees than 38 degrees.
Uh-huh.
So,
And then we can test the air conditioner once we heat it up.
Test the air conditioner. My first impression of the airbag suspension is, wow, what a fucking improvement. You barely notice the van, it hardly moves, like it doesn't rock and roll at all. The suspension on the JB was good, but geez, the airbag suspension makes the van run so smooth. It's like it's gliding, it's not tossing around like the JB did, because the roads are shit up here, so yeah, amazing. Anyway.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what difference that makes when we're on corrugation.
Yeah, and I haven't got the van loaded properly yet. All the weight's in and on the car at the moment, so the front of the van is really light at the moment. It's only got 162 kilo ball weight. But by the time you put stuff under the bed and in the front toolbox, and that'll change. We've got the 2 middle water tanks full at the moment, so there's a bit of weight just over the axles. But yeah, I mean, it'd be easy to forget the van's there actually.
Does it again. That wasn't Gimpy. Gimpy's coming up. Oh look, Jimmy,
Like
Aldi.
Aldi's, chicken wings.
Or McDonald's.
Chicken
But
wings.
to be fair, it wasn't my fault because you told me that was Gimpy.
Freeway exit said Gimpy.
Uh-huh.
Let's see, welcome to Gimpy.
That's Gimpy now. So this is a bigger town.
Got a Bunnings.
Yep.
It's a real town. It's
And a BCF. Did Mr. Jim's eyes light up when he heard that? Yes.
I can't catch any fish, but I like to support the industry. There's Big W. You wanted something from Big W, didn't you?
Possibly. I'll have to see. Once I unpack, I'll know what I want and what I need. I want a box to put my shoes in so that somebody doesn't wear his shoes inside the van. Because, why?
Can you scratch the floor?
No, because he leaves his big muddy footprints everywhere.
The mats are the last thing you'll be able to get out of the car too. So,
The mats don't stop you from putting muddy and wet footprints in the van. I got to get
that's why you should let me wear my Crocs everywhere instead of being embarrassed about it.
You still walk in with your Crocs on. So, excuses. You're worse than me, my navigating with your shoes.
It's true. I don't forget to take my shoes off because I'm always in a hurry.
For beer.
Yeah, that's right. At least the fridge is near the door.
Yes. It'll save some traffic spots.
Morning. So we've spent the last 2 days setting the van up, and some things will change as we go, but we've got a little bit of a feel for it now. So I'll give you a little bit of a look at the van, explain to you some of the features of it, and then we'll take it out and test it a bit, and we'll see whether there's stuff we like and don't like, and give you an update as we go. But I'll give the camera to Wendy and she can sort of follow me around and we'll see what the deal is. So we'll start at the front. So pretty standard hitch these days on vans. You've got a DO35 hitch, which is an articulating hitch, so that oars that way and that way. So for off-road use, where you're twisting the car and the van at different angles, that's the sort of hitch you need for that. Had one of those on the last 2 vans. They're a really good hitch. Heavy duty chains, that's the camera, Anderson plug and 7-pin plug over there, so that's all pretty standard. Handbrake, everything there is pretty standard. Electric jack, so that's the place on the jockey wheel, so up and down for your jack. So with the pin in that, you just drop that down. We'll have to get a block to put under that. The van's significantly higher than most caravans, so we'll need to get a block of wood or something about so big to put that in, make it easier to get it on and off the car. These front box here is actually a composite panel or composite material box, so it's like a sort of fiberglass. So really strong, whole thing wrapped coated, and drain holes and that in it too. So we're sort of using it for dirty storage, wet gear storage. So ladder in there, hose, drainage hose. The tank you can see on the other side is for the diesel heater. Typically we're not going to need that for a little while, but we'll turn it on and test it as well. Normally put a jerry can in there, but we've just got the step in there at the moment. But again, like I say, we'll sort of work stuff out as we go. Big storage box here on the front, so this is, we've gone with the toolbox, so that's actually huge. Actually, there's as much in there as you can get in the tunnel, but So yeah, the ball weight on this empty was only 162 kilos. So my car's rated at 4 tonne. The van's 3.5 tonne. Rated at 3.5 tonne. So you could have up to 350 kilo down weight on the ball on the car, and that'd still tow nicely, I'd imagine. At some point we'll weigh it fully loaded to see what the weights are there. Tare weight on the van was 2790. That was with 2 water tanks full. So that's 60, so 2600 with no water in it.
How many keys do we have for all these locks?
Yeah, so this is another thing too. So there's 1 key for the 2 toolboxes. There's 1 key for all the external hatches and 1 key for the door. So that's it, 3 keys. Our last van had 9 keys for it. So painful. So these hatches, they're again, I don't know if you sort of recognise on caravans, you've got those bloody hatches, you've got to push them in and pull them out, and after a while they wear and you just struggle to get the doors open. So these have got a triple seal, so there's 1 2 external seals and a 3rd internal seal. So we drove up here in the rain yesterday, no water inside. So that's pretty high. Like we couldn't get chairs into the whole caravan, so it's a
Nice wide.
bit wider, a bit high. I was actually in there yesterday. There's enough room for me. If I get kicked out, I've got somewhere to sleep.
And I can keep him there because he had trouble getting out.
I've got a 240 volt power point here, which I'll use for charging batteries and stuff. That'll only work when the inverter's on. We're just about ready to hit the road, so the inverter's off at the moment. And you've also got a 12 volt there, which will work without the inverter being on. And then light switch here, light switch at the other side. These are the lights for the up there. You got the black light and the second light. So there's 3 of those along the side of there. That tunnel with loads of storage in there. So you can use these like this sort of in camp, and then once you're ready to hit the road, put you in those locks, and you can't open it without the key.
And the keys are inside, so don't lock the front door.
Away in a minute. While I was here yesterday, I did put a clothesline up on the awning like I had on the last van, but because the door's higher on this van, I couldn't get it up all the way, so we've got to remember to take that clothesline down until we're ready to store the new awning away. This is external shower or hot and cold water on this side, so you can just adjust the temperature, hot or cold there. So that's hot and that's cold. That's taking it off, so we'll store that now we're finished with it. There's one of these on the other side as well, so if you're beach camping, you want to hose your sand off your feet before you get in the van, you can do that. So this is, they call it an external kitchen. It's probably not quite a kitchen because there's no plumbed in it. You've got that for your water source. There's a fold up sink there, so if you want to just rinse your dishes off, you can do all that here. Loads of storage in that too. Again, we'll sort this out. That's an induction cooktop, which will work out here. So you've got water and cooking out here. Got the table there if you want to use a butane cooker or anything like that. Best thing about the induction is it's windy up here this time of year all the time. You don't have to worry about your gas barbies, flames blowing out and things like that. Once we sort of get a chance to test it, we'll set the induction cooktop out and see how much power it draws when you're using it flat out and things like that. But what we sort of find with induction cooktops is they use a lot of power for the first 30 seconds and then they drop down quite a bit. So we'll work some numbers out on that later on and give you some feedback on that. Bracket for the TV out here if you want to bring the TV out here. 12 volt and 240 charging points out there. That's the modem for the Starlink dish. I'm just charging speakers and phone charging packs there at the moment. So that's it for there.
And once we've been going for a little bit, we'll work out what goes where better. So that won't look like a toolbox anymore. It'll look a little bit more like a kitchen.
That's right. So while we're here, we'll show you the. So this door is significantly different door than we had on the last van. Well, that's a really solid door. You can separate the glass.
Undo the things first.
Undo those things and separate the glass panel. It's got security mesh floor screens there. The only thing with those two screens are not midge-proof screens. The rest of the van screens are. So, close that again. That's got a magnet that just holds that back there. Electric step. Put the step out of the way. I've got the suspension set at travel height at the moment. But just to give you an idea, so I'll put it all the way up and all the way down just so you get an idea on how much travel there is on this van. So if you're going off road and you want to, you know, in and out of gullies and things like that, that's travel height. And if I drop it all the way down to camping height, so if you're setting up camp, you want it as low as you can get it so it sits closer to the ground.
You can't go any lower than 4, remember?
So it's
What did you go down to?
down, we had 17 PSI there.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, probably 100, 120 mil of travel between lower level and upper level. There's a gauge in here to put it up to travel height, which I'll wait for the compressor to finish and I'll put that back up to travel height. There is an air hose up the front of the van, so you can, if you have to, pump the tyres up, but the compressor's not really meant to be pumping up, you know, like 8 big tyres. I've got a compressor in the car that's capable of doing that, so in emergencies, if that compressor failed, you could use this compressor to pump your tyres up. But handy if you've just got a little air hose for blowing sand or dust off things, it's quite capable for that. So we're just going to put this back up to travel height again. So you see there's a red marker in there. Wendy will tell me when to stop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Do I need to check the other side?
I've already done the other side. So yeah, so that's sort of, you know, as you can see, the van sits pretty good in relationship to the car. Keep in mind that my car's got modified suspension on it. This car's got a 4-ton GVM upgrade and a 7.5-ton GCM, which is the combined mass of the two vehicles. That car, fully loaded when we were coming up here, was 3860, I think. So that was with all the crap that's now in the van, in that car. 270 litres of fuel in it. It was 3860, so, and that was with us 2 in it as well. So we've still got room to spare with the 4-ton GVM. Even if you had 350 max on the bar there, the van. See you later, Chris.
These are some people that we met. This is their very first zone, so he had lots of questions.
Yeah, so that's their first caravan. They've come
Yep.
they've come out of a motorhome.
Yep.
So yeah, first time caravanners. So they're just going
Lots.
to take their time to learn how it works.
Yeah. And exchange details so we can catch up with them again.
So we might pack this awning up on this side, will we?
Okay.
Come back and keep showing you the
Yep.
So close that, get the bugs out. So this is a dust cover for the hot water service. That's a mount there for a bicycle rack, or there's other accessories you can get to put on there as well. I'm actually thinking about making up a box for my chainsaw so I don't need the fuel in the toolbox. But at the moment there's plenty of room in there, so that's one of those things I'll think about later. The chassis, the bumper bar on this is actually part of the chassis, so it's got quite a good load bearing capacity. Water tanks, we've got 1, 2, 3 water tanks and a grey water tank. That's another external shower point there.
You also got a tow point at the back?
Yeah, you've got recovery points there, tow rated recovery points there, so if you drive into sand and you can't get out, at least somebody can hook up to the back and pull you back out. Again, I've got it booked in for some more underbody protection work to get done. We basically trashed the underneath of the JB van the first time we went on the Birdsville track. It got pelted with stones, so we're going to put some more protection underneath this van to stop that. I'll show you in here in a second. Just your 240 in and aerial in there, breaker switches there. It's just the other side of the tunnel boot. And then this is the gas units are in the separate compartment there, so again on the front of the old van, these are on the front of the van, got peppered by stones, really got to hide, and so having them in there is pretty handy. That's got a little air vent in there because it's a gas compartment obviously. 4.5 kilo bottles, which makes them a bit easier to fill. The only thing in this van that's gas is the hot water service and the cooktop, well, one of the small cooktops. So 2 4.5 litre bottles are going to last a long time because the fridge is a compressor fridge, so it works on 12 volt only. So again, that's that covered there. So come back and I'll show you this bit. I'll lock this one and finished in there. So this is well, the brains of the setup. So this is all the electronic components here. You've got your red arc DC to DC charger, your management system. That's a solar controller as well. So this will charge off the car and the solar at the same time. So you can get 40 amps an hour in off the car and up to 60 amps an hour in off the solar. Fuses for everything. Great big wiring. 3000 watt inverter. This is a odometer here. I haven't got the power on the car yet, so I can't tell you what that is, but I think we've done.
It was 101 when we got here.
101 kilometres so far. Because it's a brand new van, I'll check the wheel torque in about another 100 k's and do that before we get this first service. You know, up to 1,000 k's. The alloy wheels, you've got to make a habit of checking the wheel nuts on those because they do have a tendency to come loose. That hose is there is part of the diesel hot water heater. It's under the seat inside. So yeah, that's great. So all your anything to do with electrics is out here. So if something doesn't work and it's not obvious inside, come out here. If a fuse goes here, these little things will light up, tell you that fuse is gone. We've got spare fuses and all that sort of stuff. The other thing with this van is that there's no external vents. Like you notice on most vans, you've got a vent in the door, you've got a vent for the bottom of the fridge, a vent for the top of the fridge. So this is compressor fridge, and if you have a look through there, it vents inside the van. Right, so no dust in here. And again, the triple sealed door seals as well. Lock it. So that's locked. Go back the other way. One spare tyre, you can get a second spare tyre. Some people buy these with a fixed ladder. I really don't see the point, because if you've got a fixed ladder, you have to actually get up onto the roof to do anything. Whereas if you've got a portable telescopic ladder, you can move the ladder around and mostly do what you want to do off the ladder without getting up onto the roof.
And people have had trouble getting back onto the ladder trying to come down.
Yeah, and especially the older you get, the less you want to be doing that. So, you know, I'm a roof tiler when I was a kid, and I don't enjoy getting up on roofs anymore. So we might pack this awning up while we're here.
Right? Little trick. I use hair ties.
Yeah, to hold that there.
To hold that so it doesn't flap around, because the other end is open and this with the wind will just fly off.
Yeah, so if you get, that'll blow out the other end. The other thing that happens with these, if you let them flop around, they'll at some point tie themselves in a knot, and then you'll never get
impossible to get out.
the knot back out. So we'll leave this just to the side of the door, and then we'll use the steps to get that up when we're ready.
Okay, I'll hold this. You do that.
Little stick.
Yep.
I don't need the stick because I can reach it.
Ow.
Dropped it on the boss's head. You alright?
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
And don't forget to lock it in. What is it? Tidy.
Lefty loosey.
But Winnie always gets it the wrong way because it's backwards.
But that's okay because Jimmy can barely tell his left from his right most of the time. So
That's all done. So we just
go around and make sure all the latches are locked.
I won't lock those.
Gas is turned off.
Gas is
They do
turned off, so car's connected properly. Go around the van, make sure there's nothing under the van or under the wheels. Make sure all the things are locked. When he's going to go in here and get the key. You want to have a look in here while we're in here?
I think we have to turn off the water.
Yeah, we'll give you a little look in here while we're in here. So we really tested the batteries out on this last night. So the last 2 days have been almost no sun, been raining most of the day yesterday, and there was almost no solar coming in. We managed to drain the batteries down to 44%. So I had the inverter on nearly all day yesterday trying to upload videos and things like that. We ran the washing machine, which you have to run off the inverter. We ran the microwave a couple of times off the inverter. We didn't try the air conditioner, but we'll test that a little bit later on today. Running the fans and things like that. So it dropped down to 44. It's 10 o'clock in the morning now, it's back up to 50% already, so it's coming in. What do we got? So it's 13.6 amps an hour. Oh, actually there's 13.6 amps an hour coming back in to the system now. So that'll charge up in a few hours. We're going to a caravan park today just to test everything else when it's plugged in on 240. So we'll do
You have
that.
to turn the water pump off first.
So you better turn everything off. So turn the water pump off, turn the fan off. Nothing else is on. Nothing else is on. So then we just turn the whole system off. Okay. So that's off. There's plenty of power points, plenty of USB points around the van. So the USB points will work when you're not got the inverter going. Power points, you have to have the inverter on to go. Microwave, obviously, plenty of storage overhead. So again, we've got to live in it a while to work out where to put things, but the latches are all latched so you can't come open when you're travelling. This one here is junk cupboard at the moment. Some people get satellite TV and that where you put all your stuff in there, but we're running Starlink, so we don't need that.
That's a good place to stick the Starlink thing when we're traveling.
It's probably
Instead
better
of
out
out
there
there.
because it's not going to move around outside. So that's right, just TV, bracket, more power points. Show them the shoebox underneath there actually. So this is a handy little thing down beside the bed. Got a little box for your shoes and stuff down there, which is shoes are a bit of a pain in the ass in a caravan normally because you tend to stick them under the end of the bed. And so hanging space, there is shelves for here if you want to change it to shelving, you can change it to shelving. More storage up there.
There's heaps of room. I can't even fill all the cupboards yet.
Yeah. There's a couple of little nooks down the back there which have got 240 and USB points in there for charging, little lights over the bed. We bought our mattress topper, put on top of that really nice bed, comfy last night. Skylight up here also. So got the midgy mesh and that. We should have that open when we're travelling. That open when we're travelling, windows open when we're travelling. 2 Sirocco fans, 12 volt fans. These are the lights. I've turned all the power off now, so they have a blue night light and a dimmable. These overheads lights are full lights. When you turn those on, it's like VFL parking here. Fusion stereo system, that's the table that pops up, so we've got it set down there for travelling. Footrests on the side. Look in here, this is the batteries. So there's 3 200 ampere lithium batteries by Red Arc. So yeah, that's, you know, I mean, we really tested it last couple of days, no sun and that. Got it down to 50%. They reckon you can drop these down as low as 20% without damaging the batteries, and they'll come back up to 100% again. So we'll certainly test that. That's the control for the diesel heater. More storage up here. And he's got lots of containers going on, but again, we've got to work out where we're going to put stuff.
I need some food to put in them.
Yeah, we've got to get some food. Big pantry in here. So slide out shelves there. Put that down before it falls down. They're all adjustable, those shelves.
Yeah.
So again, we've still got to do grocery shopping, so we'll put some more containers in there to stop them sliding around. Drawers, pot drawers. So with this van, it originally came with a combination induction gas cooktop, but they were unable to get it, so they provided us with a gas only cooktop.
I actually don't mind it now.
Yeah, it works right. We've got a portable induction cooktop outside. There's another one under the bed which you can put in here as well. We opted not to have an oven in this one because in the last van the oven moves too much. Like when you start going on corrugation roads, I don't care how good your suspension is, the oven, it's a solid unit. It shakes around. There's lots of small components inside, gas fittings and things like that. So we had a few issues with the oven in the last van, hinges breaking, the actual gas burner just rattled loose, it actually broke out. So in this van we've opted to go for a portable air fryer combination toaster oven. So that'll roast, toast, you can actually even slow cook to a degree in it as well too. So that'll run off the inverter, and the best part about that is we can use that outside. So if I want to do a roast or something, I can stick that outside and we're not stinking the van out with that. So soft closed drawers
Thermomix.
And then Wendy's got a Thermomix in here and a few more bits and pieces down the bottom. This is the little bonus that we've got, so recycle and normal bin in there. So yeah, so loads of room in it. Nice tapware. The handles were meant to be black, so I've had words with the manufacturer about that. They're going to fix that. One thing I'll show you is under the bed, vents there that are for gas. So when you pull up, you've got to sort of undo a little cap down there that creates the airflow for the gas regulations, because the gas cooker and the gas hot water service are in here. And then when you're travelling, put those caps back on, and the van's completely sealed, so there should be no dust in here. If any dust comes in here, it'll be an issue with the seal or something like that. So we'll give it a test. We'll get to some red dirt at some point when the rain stops, but at the moment we'll probably stay around the Sunshine Coast for a while. We'll go inland till after a stay day weekend, and then we'll come back towards the coast, and we'll do as much free camping as we can, because we sort of like to be on our own. I'm not a big fan of being shoved in caravan parks like sardines. So yeah, so we'll run it for a little while, and then we'll let you know what we think. Oh, and one more thing too. So this is something new for us. So toilet. So normally a caravan toilet is what they call a cassette toilet. So it's a canister that you get to from outside the van. So you fill the canister up, take the canister out, empty it into a dump point. So this is something a little bit different. It's called a composting toilet. So it has 2 compartments to it. So even the fellas have to sit down to wee here because wee needs to go into the front compartment and your number 2s go in the back compartment. So the number 2 compartment, we've only just loaded this up, so there's nothing in there yet. So that's got peat in there, and then you can see there's a little rotating thing in there that you get to move it around. So the idea there is that these don't have to be emptied anywhere near as often. They're saying about 2 months. We'll test it and we'll see how we go. The wee canister's just a little bucket down the front, so that just comes out. That holds 10 litres. Take that out. If you're free camp, just empty that on a tree. If you're in a caravan park, you empty it in the dump point like you would with everything else. So yeah, so that's new for us. So we'll tell you how that goes. Anybody we've spoken to about it said they wouldn't go back. So you know, I'm sort of looking forward to seeing how that goes, because emptying the dunny in the dump points is nobody's favourite job. So nice big shower. That's got an automatic rain sensing fan above that one.
I won't show you the bottom because
yeah,
that's
so
where we're storing all the stuff while we're traveling.
The washing machine up on the wall.
Works good.
Tried that yesterday. That works good. That's the on-off switch for the hot water. Hot water's down here. And then again, yeah, just more
Storage.
storage everywhere.
Plenty of storage.
Up there. So loads of storage in the van. Taps all work good. So yeah, no, very happy with it so far. So we'll test it like it's an off-road van, and we'll take it off-road. We'll try not to scratch it, but you know, the best stuff is hard to get to, so we'll take it where it's hard to get to. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll let you know. Oh, the fridge. We'll show you the fridge.
Oh, the fridge is massive.
Huge fridge. So that's 274 litres. So compressor fridge, so no gas. Runs just on 12 volt. We've sort of been watching it. Hasn't been that hot here yet. I think 29 degrees it got up to yesterday, but fairly humid. That's just purring away. It's not.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, that's on. Blue lights on.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's if you want to see what the so the setting on the fridge is 3, on the freezer's 3. That should be okay for up here. We've hardly got anything in the freezer yet, but I went to Aldi's yesterday and got my chicken buffalo wings. Jesus, that works. We only put them in there yesterday after like a brick already. So yeah, so we'll get at least, so if I ever catch a fish, I'll be able to put it in the freezer.
No, you won't. It's going to go in your car fridge.
And the car fridge won't stay going.
Miguel's stinky.
So okay, so we're going to hit the road and we'll let you know how we go.
See you when we get there.
Cool.
Bye.